Hey, just wanted this. I had this idea a long time ago of starting um, individual stories about individual seashells. Not so much as like a science thing, but something where I tell you a little bit about, let's say, a shell that I got from my collection and kind of the background to it. Um, if it's interesting, maybe you'll be the judge of what you think. But anyway, the first one I wanted to start off with was when I was this shell, which is a New England Neptune, and the New England Neptune, a really robust, big, thick shell with this nice ridges. You know, um, when you used to when I used to read about it in the seashell books when I was little, going back 50 years when I first started looking at books on seashells, like this was like one of the ones, oh, I had to get this one. And the story about the New England Neptune runs that in the books, they would always say, oh, it's abundant, like in New England, and so I figured, well, okay, maybe it's abundant in New England, um, you know, and I don't live in New England. We're in Staten Island, New York. So that's why I'm not finding them. But it's on my list of shells to have, and so by being on my list of shells to have, I always kept an eye out for it, and I would see it in museums, and I was like, well, they got one. It's probably not going to be that hard to find eventually. But time went by, and the word abundant kept being sort of like ridiculed. Abundant, when I go to the beach and I think of something that's abundant, uh, there's lines. The rack line is just full of the shells, like mussels. They're abundant. You can go and you can't walk without crunching on them. That's abundant. Or slipper snails, they're abundant. So, the New England Neptune, it's not abundant. And I had such a long, hard time finding it. So, flash forward to, I guess, 30 years looking for this seashell. I learned how to scuba dive, went up to New England a couple times, scuba dived. No New England Neptune. So, then on one time, we were on a vacation. We went to the College of the Atlantic, and there in a little touch box for children was a New England Neptune. And I was like, how is it that I'm finding this here? And it looked like it was just thrown in with a bunch of other shells, and it's like, well, nobody would really miss it if I took it. But I said to myself, well, how would that story, do I want that to be the end of my life's quest? I steal out of a children's seashell box. And so, and then besides it just being wrong, I just said, okay, I'll pass it by. But it was right in my grasp at that point. And then go forward another 5 or so years, and I'm telling a friend about this whole story, and he is sort of sympathetic to it. His name is Peter, um, and Peter secretly then goes. This is at the dawn of the internet, and secretly finds a place that now the burgeoning ability to purchase just about anything on the internet, and he purchases this New England Neptune, and he gives it to me as a gift, which to me was a very profound end to a seashell quest, because I wholeheartedly accepted it because it was from a good friend of mine, and it was a beautiful shell besides, and now I have my New England Neptune, and I still think that the New England Neptune should be reconfigured as at least uncommon, because you have abundant, common, uncommon, rare, very rare. So to me, this was a very rare shell, but in the end, I was able to get one, and I got one through a friend, And it was a nice end to the story. So that's my seashell story for this episode.